If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
Rate a quarterback against the rest of the draft, knowing the value. It's like rating a pitcher against the center fielder in baseball. The center fielder plays every day, but you sure need the pitchers. Do that about that.
That's probably the toughest thing, I think, is sequencing those quarterbacks in amongst the other players, because let's face it, it's a quarterback league, and if you don't have one, you're trying to find one. So I'm not going to say you tend to reach on guys, but there is definitely an emotional factor that plays into it at that position where, hey, we need a guy, this is the best guy, so let's take him. You tend to overrate certain things and underrate other things. It's really tough, and you try to include as many people as you can into the process, and you bring in, all these gurus, and you bring in the quarterbacks and coaches and scouts and owners get involved, and you bring in doctors and psychologists and everybody else, and really, it's a crapshoot. Nobody knows. It's 50%. You look at that position in the first round, 50% of all quarterbacks taken in the first round end up being really good players, and the other 50% end up being backups and or out of the league.
But there's no middle ground, right, Brian?
No.
The quarterback's going to win games or he's not.
And Eric just threw out, and I've said the same thing for years, it's a 50-50 crapshoot. The fact of the matter is, and obviously I've been looking into it a little more detail for the work I'm going to do for the NFL Network. There's been 43 quarterbacks taken since 1990. 13 by any stretch of the imagination.
43 total or first round?
43 first round.
First round, okay.
Good. I appreciate you pointing that out. 43 in the first round since 1990, okay? By any evaluation, any barometer you want to use.
43, that's a little more than 2 a year. It's going back 20 years.
And that's about what it happened.
All right.
13. That's 30%. The other 70% have stunk. So,
And really stunk. Not stunk a little. I mean, there were Achilles Smith, David Klingler, Ryan Lee.
No, there's no gray area. You go through the list, and it's very clear cut. Okay, there's some guys.
Where does Trent Dilfer fit in there? Does he stink or is he good?
Eric, you got to put Trent in the positive category.
Yeah, he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That guy's been a starter.
But he failed with his first team, right?
Well, but I'm talking about abject failures. I'm talking about when you look at the list of 13.
Achilles Smith.
Correct. Ryan Lee, Heath Schuler, Tim Couch. Now you can still got to put guys like Joey Harrington and David Carr in a gray area, but still. So it shows you, we throw out that 50-50, and I've been throwing out for years. It's less than that, really, when it comes to quarterback.
Here's an interesting observation. First off, Brian, speak about Kyle Bowler a little bit. He said some things when he went to St. Louis about Baltimore, what he did, and I don't know that you've had a real chance to speak out, but I want to throw this out for draft day. Forget how Kyle played or any of that other stuff. Kyle, to me, was a little bit of a reach on draft day. We traded up, not really knowing whether anybody behind him was going to take it with the next pick. I would almost say the same thing about Joe Flacco. We may have coveted Joe Flacco more. So both of the first-round draft pick quarterbacks we've taken in the 10 years or 13 years we've been here have been guys that every fan on draft day is like, every book I read was like, that could be an early second-round pick or somewhere in the 30s as opposed to the teens, which is where we wound up taking them. But that also speaks to the fact that if you want them, you're going to have to go up, give up more value just to make sure you get it.
And Eric, talk about that, because you were part of both the process. Because had we not gone up to get Kyle Bowler, had you not gone up to get Joe Flacco, they would not have lasted the next 3 or 4 or 5 picks, correct?
You just don't know, and I think the thing is, if you have conviction as an organization, and we didn't have conviction in both cases. Kyle Bowler was in our top 10 players that year, and Joe Flacco was in our top 15 players this year. So you have a conviction about a player, you almost go into, and listen, I like to gamble, and I know Coach likes to gamble. And there was a part of me this year, I love picks. I was sitting there at 26 thinking, hey, we love Joe Flacco. I don't think we have to trade up to get him from 26 to 18. And I'm looking at Steve, I'm looking at Oz, and looking at all the other people, and they want to do it. And I'm thinking, man, I would love to have that 3rd-round pick. But in the end, the price, if you lose the guy and he ends up being great, you're going to kill yourself. You'll never live it down for the rest of your career. So you do it because you love the guy. And everybody says they love the guy. We love Kyle Bowler coming out, and we love Joe Flacco. And you know what? It worked. It didn't work. But hey, we gambled. We took a chance. We were aggressive. We put it in our hands, and I think we made the right decision at the time.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.